You're sideways.
Oh, let me flip it.
There you go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Hello,
Okay.
hello.
You're sideways.
Okay, so I need to restart because my video isn't working. So let me restart.
There you
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Hello, hello.
You're sideways.
Is that a delay?
That was my
Everybody
fault.
mute.
That was me. That was me. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Welcome, welcome. Come on in. It's Friday, y'all. Y'all know what we do, y'all? We chat. We chat. We chat. Yes, we do. How was y'all Friday?
Girl, I don't know what day of the week it is. It's all Friday to me.
Everybody but you, Sherette. I know. Child, I know.
All Friday.
I don't know what day it is either.
No, it's been good. Glad to be done with work for the week, definitely. So I'm not complaining with that.
I totally agree. I was counting down. Come on, 4 o'clock. Come on, come on.
And you're still going into work, right, Ebony?
I sure am. Still going in.
I just got my possibly return to work email the other day. I was like, I'm so ready. I'm
You're not
so
ready.
Honestly, that's gonna be so hard.
Yeah. It's like summer break and then you got to go back to school.
Mm.
magnify that by 30, right?
Yes. Got to figure it out. Oh my gosh.
Put real clothes on.
You can't wear leggings all day.
You know, you doing good wearing leggings, child.
Hey,
We
y'all.
have to dress down and be real comfortable in the office. So I haven't had to be like real stiffy and dressy. That's probably the one thing.
That's nice.
Yes.
Okay. Listen, I have my, you know how we have to prepare before we get on, make sure everything is right. So I had my regular camera on, and then I tried to turn the camera on Zoom, and it was giving me an error. I'm like, what is really going on? Holy Spirit says your regular camera is on. I was like, well, thank you. Let me turn it off. And here I am. How y'all doing?
Okay, how are you?
Good, good. Ladies, I see you're coming on our Facebook page. And listen, we forget, or I forget sometimes, to acknowledge those that are on YouTube and those that are on our website. If you are on here on YouTube, go ahead and let us know you're on there. You know, let your friends know that, hey, we have our Winning Women Friday Night Live Girls Chat. So come on in. So we want to welcome all of our YouTube subscribers. We want to welcome all of our website subscribers as well. So if you are there, we have someone checking each platform. So make sure you say hi. You know, we know your name. Sometimes you don't use the same name on Facebook, but just let us know your name. Let us know where you're coming from. And if you've been enjoying every week, we've been on here, I believe, 2 months now with this girl chat, and it's just been awesome. It's been amazing. We've talked about several things. You know, we use this platform as a platform for refreshing, a time of laughter, a time to just kind of let our hair down. I love saying that, let our hair down. And just kind of get away for maybe an hour or two from everything that we have inundated ourselves with, because we've gone from, you know, COVID to racism, which is still existed, it hasn't stopped, but we've gone from one end to the next. And so this platform, we would normally use it to just kind of be a little bit lighthearted, but tonight we want to discuss some things, and we don't want to ignore what's going on in our world. So tonight we're going to be chatting about some different things. Look at Kay, she's ready for it. She's
Put her glasses
here for it. But
One of
before
Cuties.
we jump in, I wanna for all of our subscribers, all of our people that are watching, Facebook, whatever platform you're watching from, give us some hearts, share the live, start a watch party, whatever you have to do, invite 2, 3, 4, 5 girlfriends, to join this chat and just let them know, hey, we're talking about some good things. We've talked about so many things. I tried to write them all down. We've talked about, and you all jump in. We talked about makeup and catfish. We've talked about food, bras, panties, girdles,
Budgeting.
budget,
DIY, right.
stockings. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Money, finances.
Yeah, we talked about organizing our closet. We talked about girl stuff.
Oh yeah, them lemons for real.
Lemons.
Oh yeah, the lemons.
And tea.
And we had tea. Yes, we had our what would we call it? Our virtual tea, a remix of our annual tea party. So we had that on last week.
Wisdom.
We had 2 seasoned saints on here last week.
Yes,
I tell you, if you did not get to be on live last Friday, make sure you go to our page and watch it. It was hilarious.
It was on
hilarious. But we got some good information. We got some great wisdom from 2 great ladies. So again, we thank Elder Yvonne. We thank Mama Marilyn for coming on and just sharing with us. We just had so much fun. And we're going to have them back on.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we have them back on. And we have some doozy of some seasoned saints in our congregation at Lifeline Church. So we're going to let them loose. We're going to let them loose.
Let them move here.
I'm looking forward to that.
You say you're looking forward to that?
Absolutely.
Yes. I don't know, it's something. I always like the whole Titus 2 thing that, the older women are supposed to bring up the younger women and train us up in the ways, that we should go. And I have not back down from that. And I always say, I don't want the older women to think that we don't need them, because we do need them. We need wisdom, even if they've made mistakes, which I know they have, we need to know, hey, what mistakes did you make so we don't have to make them?
Help me, daughter. Help me.
And we need to know that you've made them so that when we make them, we don't think it's over and we can't recover.
Yep.
Oh, that's huge.
That's good right there, Kay. That's good.
That's good. So listen, we want to jump in tonight. Before we jump in, this is my second opening, because I haven't said that about 2 times. I'm closing 3 or 4 times. I'm doing this opening, because I want to really get to it. But before we do that, we always take selfies. Well, I take them every week and I forget to post them. So everybody takes selfies, post them, and let us know. You probably have to post it after the live, because I don't think you can put it in the comments, but post it after, so we'll know that you were watching. We'll know that you have tuned in to our Friday night live girl chat. And let us know where you're coming from. Let us know. I know we have our, I didn't see her yet, but I know we have our sister from Hawaii on every week. We had some other people from some other states. And whether you're from Chicago, whether you're from whatever part, Bolingbrook, Romeoville, wherever you're from, West Side, Dana, you watching? West Side, South Side, But listen, wherever you're from, we want to know where you're from, and we want to know that you are watching us. All right. So, listen, there have been, as I stated when we started, there have been, since I guess the middle of March, there has been like almost all hell breaking loose, if you can. If
come on.
We from this deadly virus, not being able to go outside, being quarantined, our children, their worlds have been rocked. I mean, I know if our worlds have been rocked, our children's worlds have been rocked.
Definitely.
They were in school, that I believe they stopped on the 17th of March. They were in school that Tuesday, that might have been their last day, and they haven't been back to school since. So it's like, wow, what's going on? And then, so we going along with this whole, COVID thing and trying to get things open back up. And, the states arguing with the states, and it's just so much going on. And in the midst of this, we have this uproar, which I said earlier, racism has always been an underlying issue. It's in the fabric of our country. But we have this uproar that comes in the middle of this crisis, in the middle of this pandemic. And so it's almost like nobody's talking about COVID-19. Did it disappear? You know, some people, I see people with masks, I see people not with masks. So it's like that kind of took a backseat to what's going on. So we want to discuss as women tonight, how are you doing, ladies? How are you doing during all this? Through COVID, because your world was fine, you know, March 15th, March 16th, March 14th. Everybody's world was fine. This is our year to focus. This is everything, you know, we're supposed to be doing for God. We're going to do this, and we got so many plans. We had events, and we planned, you know, different things and planned out the whole year. And now it's like it's been put to a halt. And now the halt has been put to a halt because we're dealing with things that have come up recently. And I know some people say, you know, this whole thing with George Floyd is not the only, you know, racism that we have experienced, but I believe this is the peak of it. I think it's like people are saying no more. Yeah, we've heard a lot of things that have gone on, you know, Ahmaud Arbery, we've heard of a lot of things that have gone on, but it seems like this one tipped the scales. And so, like I said, we want to know, ladies, I think Brandy put in the comments some hearts that we want to know. We want to know from you, how are you doing? We want you ladies to check in. So we have some hearts down, it should be pinned on our Facebook page. And so the first one, if you are doing good throughout all of this, from COVID to now, we want you to put a red heart in. And so if you're doing pretty good, you know, put an orange heart in. And you say, I'm doing okay, I guess. We want to see yellow hearts. And so a green heart, we want to know, hey, I'm starting to struggle. A blue heart, I'm really having a hard time. And a purple heart, I need to reach out for support. So it's pinned on our Facebook page. So we want to know, ladies, how are you dealing with this? Because we know the emphasis is on this one thing, but we all deal with the pressures of life differently. So even on this call tonight, we want to share a couple of things, you know, I want to share with our team. How are you doing? What heart would you, you know, put up there about how you're doing? And let's chat about it. And I know I don't want this to be like a gloom and doom, but we have to have solutions. We have to have something that we can take away tonight. How are we going to move forward with what's going on? Yeah, what's going on is there, but we know it won't be like this always. So tell us, ladies, how you're doing. And we want to know, hey, how are you coping through this? What are you doing? What can we do to move further from where we are? So anybody jump on in.
Well, you know, I'll start. I'm between yellow and blue. So some days I'm okay, I guess, and some days I'm starting to struggle, and some days I am having a really hard time. And for those of you who know, my birthday was yesterday, but the day before, I think I had a meltdown. But I reached out. I shared with my girlfriends and my small group, and they came through for me. And the conversation that we've had in our thread about sometimes just kind of stepping out, even though I didn't say anything, that's what I took from it. So I got home on Wednesday and I stepped away from everything, and I just debriefed, and I just asked God, hey, I need you to help me with this. How do I help me? How do I breathe? You know, because I have children, boys and girls. I have a husband. It's me. Like, what do I do? Because I'm no good for nobody else if I'm not good for myself.
Right.
So that really helped me. And yesterday I woke up and I told myself, we got this. We're gonna put it on and we're gonna do it. And when I made that decision, my entire body, my mind, my spirit worked with me and we got it together, and God is good. And I'm going to say that every morning. I said it this morning. I woke up and I said, hey, we got this. We're going to move through it. If there's something I need to learn from it, I'm going to learn. If there's something I need to say, I'm going to say. If I need to stick up for something, I'm going to stick up. But I'm going to move through you, and I'm going to allow Holy Spirit to help me, because I was starting to become inundated in just all the negativity, and it had taken a toll on me.
I know for me, I started off the week a mess, just a whole mess. My job right now is really, really busy. And of course, that doesn't stop. So even on Monday, when I was not feeling it at all, I had to bottle it up. And I mean, and we all do that all the time, but just for whatever reason, this time it was different. And like even the way my company has responded to it has been different, and it's been really, really good, but also a little overwhelming, because they're all like, I'm checking on you, and I'm like, that's really good, but at the same time, every time you check on me, I think about it, and that's when I come undone. So I need you to, if you want me to work, I need you to let me work and leave me alone, and because I can compartmentalize it if you let me keep my head down and work. But if every 5 seconds I'm checking on you, I'm thinking of you, that's when the tears start. That's when I kind of go down that rabbit hole. So like Monday through Wednesday was very, very hard. And I think it was, what's that, you're tired of trying to be stronger than you really are, trying to put that mask on. And I think that mask crumbled and shattered this week for me. I know, because I've been holding so much in. And then like I was Wednesday, I cried all day, off and on all day. I'm getting emotional now. It was just like, and honestly, I couldn't even put into words what it was. I was just overwhelmed. So I think it was giving myself that space to go, okay, I'm not okay. I'm like, for real, I'm not okay. And I kind of just like fell into my husband's arms, and he's like, what is wrong? And I couldn't even articulate it. I don't know. But I just knew that I wasn't okay.
No, I can relate to you, Brady, on a couple of things. But it was maybe a week ago, and for some reason, I just felt like blah. And I'm not like a blah person. Like I'm like, hey, but I was just like worn out, and I thought it was everybody around me getting on my nerves. And so I literally thought all my family was just irritating me. But then when I took a step back, I'm like, Lord, like, why do I feel frustrated with them? Like, this is so silly. And then he reminded me, like, every event that's happening around you right now, you're actually like taking in all those emotions, and you're not expressing it, in the appropriate channel. And so I ended up like talking with Jazz. I talked with Tyler. I talked with another family member, and just being able to release. I'm still not okay, but I'm better than I was, because when I tell y'all, I was just paralyzed for a good like day. It was horrible. And seeing all the content on social media continuously for hours and on hours, I was not okay, to be honest.
So we've seen so far a couple of ways that some of my team have coped with it. So Ebony mentioned she relied on the Holy Spirit to get her through those days. Brandy mentioned she worked, so she has to compartmentalize things, and she has to work. Tiffany she mentioned that she had to talk through it. And so what I'm noticing is everybody's way of release is different. And just because somebody likes to talk, or somebody likes to work, or somebody likes to, rely on Holy Spirit, doesn't make it wrong. That's how they release. Right. And so for me, I know I had just come back from a road trip. And so I felt the tension when I was gone. So, we were down walking through the shops of a Confederate state. And, we had to get away, do whatever we had to do. And so we're walking through these shops, and I remember vividly one of the shops we went in, the guy was at the register. There were other people in the store, and he was dealing with somebody at the register. But when we walked in, he kind of almost jumped over the register and was like, "Hey, can I help y'all? You need any help?" And I'm looking like, okay, yeah, we're the only Blacks in here, but you're helping somebody else. If I need help, I'll ask you. And I told Pastor, I said, well, we're gonna leave out of here. I'm not gonna buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we saw the ups and downs just even in a week. And it's like, yeah, I know it's been there, but I think everything that's going on it's been racially charged. It's been more so in our faces now. And I think people are being allowed to be more vocal about it, which I don't like. And one of the partners, I don't even know if she's on here, it broke my heart that she put on there about her son. And a guy had she lives close. Yeah, Conquita. She mentioned a white guy had started talking bad to her son, telling him, you know, he was a juvenile delinquent. This little boy is 7. He was a juvenile delinquent. He, you know, was going to be in jail, and the police was going to kill him, and all of this. And what does he know about any of this? Nothing. So not only are we dealing with it personally, we're dealing with it for everybody that we lead in our congregation. So it's like, Lord, I just pray, heal our land. It's like, I know our land has been needing the healing, but it's more prevalent today than it has been in a while. But I do know, I'll let somebody else go, but I do know it gave me comfort that I believe it was said for the first time in history, all 50 of the United States have been in some type of protest for this Black Lives Matter. And for me, I see what the enemy is doing, and I also see what God is doing. And I believe because of our prayers, that's where the unity is coming in, because the Bible says where there's unity, there is strength. So I know we have Black people in every part of the United States, but we have white people that are protesting on our behalf peacefully in all 50 states, and not just all 50 states, but in several
nations. Yes.
So that several nations, that gives me hope. It lets me know, yeah, this happened. I hate it happened, but the unity is starting, whether it's 1 or 2 in a state, it doesn't matter. The unity is starting. So I know that my prayers are working. I know the saints are praying, you know, and this is what we're praying for. We're praying for unity. We're praying for peace. We're praying for just like I said, our land to be healed. If they have, somebody put some on Facebook, one of the profile pictures, not the profile picture, but the frame for the profile picture. And it was, Lord, heal our land. I put that up today. It's like, that's what we need. We've been needing it since we've been a land, but we need we need it, you know, more so now than ever. So somebody else jump in and let us know kind of what you dealing with, how you experiencing, you know, this. Oh, one more thing. Let me go back to this check-in. I would say I'm doing okay and I'm doing good. It depends, because like somebody said, you get inundated with the news, and a lot of this stuff is repeat. It's on repeat. It's nothing new. It's the same stuff playing over and over and over. And I'm like, I just saw this man steal his TV, or I just saw this woman, you know, go with these lamps. It's the same clip. But we think, our minds make us think it's multiple things, or it's a lot of things happening at the same time. So I have to cut that off. And when I cut it off, I do pretty good with it. So somebody else jump in.
Well, I'll jump in. I am doing okay, I guess. I guess. You know, I've had some other stuff kind of happen. So I feel like everything just happened. And I feel like it's been longer. All of this has happened in one day. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like COVID, riots, it's all happened in one day. Then I lost my brother, and like, this was all one day. And I'm like, Jesus, wake me up from just everything. So, but I'm a faith girl. I believe God, you know, I feel like I can't get wrapped into everything. So I unplug stuff, turn it off, because I can't. Because I'm like, I refuse to cry tears for my brother, for this, for that. Like, y'all, because this will take you out, man. It'll take you out. Then the cicadas came, and I said, Jesus, now the cicadas is flying. stuff is out the ground. I can't take all of it. So you just gotta, I have found a space where I'm like, turn off the phone, turn off the TV, let me just get somewhere and meditate, pray, listen to some good music, something. Because if not, I literally felt like I was having heart palpitations. I'm like, dude, you 44, you're not gonna have an anxiety attack or a heart attack. So stop yourself.
Yep.
Stop yourself. So I think, sometimes we just have to do that. We know ourselves. We know when we're getting overwhelmed. We know when it's becoming too much. And I'm joking about it, but I know myself too. So I'm like, what do I need to do? Not that I'm dismissing anything or anybody, but for my own mental well-being. Let me turn everything off. Like Pastor Linda said, you'll see the same clip 50 times. And the night that it happened, I promise, I sat there and watched the news like 9/11. And I was like, girl, it's 2:00 in the morning. Stop, because I'm pumping this into me. I'm pumping it. And I'm like, I need to protect my ear gates, my eyes, turn it off, walk away. Because if not, you'll overwhelm yourself. And then your emotions get to running high. And then you'll start to think about every, clear person that you know and every interaction that you've had with them. And they walk past your house and what she say? And but she looking like she want to say something. I'm a Black person living in Berwyn. Is they saying something? So
like boom shakalaka, let's get it.
So it's like you know yourself. So it's like turn it off, walk away, come back to it.
Yeah, you mentioned about the distraction. I think all of this since March has been a big distraction, and it's also been the spirit of division has risen up so strong. And so I don't think it's in the Bible, but it's this particular, it's not straightforward in the Bible, but it's united we stand, divided we fall. I think that was on some kind of movie, united we stand, divided we fall. I don't remember the rest of it, something about 2 feet tall or whatever, but that is so true. United we stand, divided we fall. And I believe the spirit of division has risen up more so now. It's risen its head because, like I said, it's always been an underlying issue, but it has jumped to the forefront, and we have the opportunity to knock it down. And that unity is where we need to be. And the devil don't want that unity, though. He don't want that. He want that division.
Listen.
Okay, you want to go last or you want to go now? Well, let's take you last. Serena, let us know.
Seemed like she was ready.
I think she got a lot to say, so we're gonna let her go last.
Betty.
Betty going last.
I'm a range as well. I would say I'm anywhere between orange and green, doing pretty good and starting to struggle and being okay. For me, I'm like Sharetta, like I'm a faith, girl. I'm always been like glasses half full and not empty, always optimistic, but I think sometimes it just could be a lot. And it's like I sometimes find myself just being, just overwhelmed with everything. And it's like the COVID, it's the racism, it's other things that has hit our family too. And it's like literally since we've been on quarantine, it's like attack, COVID. And then it's just like everything is piling up. And it's like, I have to, I was sharing with the team before, like I get to these spaces where I'm just like, I can't find a way out, where I can't find a way to decompress and to release. Like I have my releases, but sometimes I think I worry so much about other people, I think. And it's like, I don't feel like I deserve to be poured into, even though I'm poured into. But I think I find I find a lot of joy in pouring into other people. And I think it's like, I'll keep pouring and pouring my family, pouring into my husband, pouring into the kids, whatever. And it's like, I'm empty and I'm still trying to pour. And it's like, it's just weighing me down. So I've had a lot of those moments where it's like, if I have a moment to release, it might be like midnight. You know, like I'm literally going through the whole day, and then once everybody is asleep or the house is quieted down, it's like, okay, now I can try to have a moment, you know, just to release. So I'm learning to be more intentional, and not letting things get to that point to where they pile up so much, and it's like, you know, I'm just a cycle, you know. What I do to release outside of, like, you know, reading the word, I sing. So that's my release. I'll just literally have my earphones in, or at least one of them in if the kids are, you know, up. And I just have music and I'll just be singing. That's how I release. So that has helped me when I'm able to do that. But definitely, like I said, I have to become more intentional about having time to myself, because I really don't. I don't really ask for it, because I feel like I don't feel like I can. And I know that's not true, but it's just how I feel. I feel like I need it so much that I feel like if I'm getting emotional. I feel like if I don't, it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't try, even though I don't know. I'm just like, I feel like sometimes I just can't. Even
You
though
feel
I
like
know
you're
that's not
selfish?
true. I don't know.
You know, as I told you when we talked about this on the group meeting, being intentional is necessary. And I know as mom, you have 3 young children, you have a husband, but if you're not okay,
They're not okay.
Nobody's okay.
Nobody is okay. And so I even, you know, said, hey, lean on Wes. Tell them, hey, baby, at least once a week. Let's start with once a week. I need just some me time, even if it's just going in the bathroom, locking the door, getting in the tub, doing whatever you have to do for you to keep your sanity, especially with everything that's going on. Because I know before all of this stuff went on, you had 2 outside the house, you know, going to school, and you only had Naomi. Now you got all, you know, 3 of them. And I know Naomi takes a little bit more time than the other 2, but you still need your time. And I think what Tiffany said, you might think it's a selfish thing. We can't think about that like that. Sometimes we talked about self-care. If we as women don't take care of ourselves, then we can't take care of anybody else. So just think, if you're sick, the whole house is almost down, because we set the temperature of the house.
Yep.
You know, so if we're not well, our house is not well. So I think even ladies, whoever's on here, I don't know if you're going through the same thing, but have that conversation with your spouse and say, hey, baby, I'm not trying to be selfish, but sometimes I don't need everybody hanging on to my titties. I don't need that. I need somebody to let one of them go so so that milk can be produced again. They can't just hanging on, because men can hang on too. So you gotta, I mean, and I ain't trying to make it, but y'all know, I think I'm trying to get to the point.
Yeah.
You own it.
We gotta take time for ourselves. And I'm speaking to me too. I do the same thing. And sometimes it's like, you want to just scream, and sometimes you might need to scream. You just need to scream.
Bet you everybody get the moving in, baby.
When you start snapping, you know, you gotta release, because when you don't, it piles up and piles up and piles up, and it has to go somewhere. And it's like pop goes a weasel, because the weasel go pop, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants you to just pop off. So it's better for us to have those conversations. If you're married, have those conversations with your spouse. Now, as far as if you're single with children, that's a whole nother issue. I know we all have support systems, or, you know, some type of support system, whether it's your family or your friends. And I know most of our children have godmamas and goddaddies. These are the times that you can lean on your godmom and goddaddy and say, hey, take these kids for like a day, please, so I can get some time to myself. So if you're married, talk to your spouse. If you're unmarried and you have children, you need to get that release, and you can't get it when they go to bed, because maybe they go to bed too late. Pull on some of your family, pull on the friends. Like I say, pull on those godparents. They not just there to be godparents entitled. Hey, take care of your duties today. Take them over the weekend so I can I can refresh my mind because there's so much going on. And we allow ourselves to get caught up in it, and we can't do that. And on top of that, the pressure of the world system,
Jesus.
we will, and you don't want to have no nervous breakdown.
No.
You know, we are faith people, we know that. But if we allow ourselves to continue doing the way we're doing, we're gonna have those anxiety attacks. You're gonna have these things. And yeah, I know I don't speak, I call those things that be not as though they were. I'm faith girl to heart. But faith and no faith, you still gotta know if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're gonna get what you ain't supposed to get.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's real.
So I have a question. How many of us saw our mothers or our grandmothers do self-care?
Nobody.
My mom worried.
And so that's the thing that we're forgetting, because we're saying have self-care, but it's hard for you to embrace that when your vision of strength usually is your mother or your grandmother. And so when that's your vision of strength and there was no self-care and they just went and went and went, it's hard for you to let go because that means you're not strong.
But I agree with that to an extent. Now, the only reason to my extent is you have people around you, or you should have people around you. If anybody has been on this girl chat since we started, we have given you multiple tools on how to have this self-care. So if you don't have, I can see if you don't know it, or you don't have friends or girlfriends that can tell you, I'll buy that excuse. But when you know better, you got to do better. So even if we say take one day and do your own nails, or do whatever, go to the salon, go to the nail shop, get your nails done. We've given you a starting point. But if you haven't been watching us, then yeah, I'll take that. Maybe your mom, you have to use it. But we can't give people excuses, Kay.
Okay, so it's not an excuse, but here's where I was going with it. It's not an excuse. What I want us to understand that it's a mind shift. And mind shift takes time. So I'm challenging you to just take a moment and tell yourself how strong you are, even if you let 5 things go off your list.
Hey.
I'm still strong, even if I don't wash dishes and I go to bed and the dishes are still in the sink.
Come on.
I'm still strong if the baby happens to have an accident. I'm still strong. I'm still a good mom. So that's the piece I think but you have to say it to yourself. You can't just go, I'm going to do self-care and I'm going to go do this thing. You have to reframe your mindset to tell yourself, I'm still strong, even if I didn't cook dinner today and the kids ate cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm still strong.
So what you're saying, Kay, what you're saying is those moments where, hey, I couldn't wash the dishes. That was self-care. That's a part of self-care.
That is a huge part of self-care.
30 minutes for me instead of using it to wash the dishes or to do this and not feel like I'm bad because of it.
And it was for me, it was a girlfriend who said it to me. She was like, girl, my husband will go to bed in a minute. And she was like, I looked up and I was still up doing and moving and folding. And she was like, and he was like, good sleep, slob. And she was like, if he could go and get good rest.
Come on.
And it's not a knock against men. It's not that at all. It's just knowing that you're still strong, you're still worthy, you're still everything that you were, even if those things on that list don't get done.
And Yanni put on here, it's okay not to have it all together. And so when we try to have it all together, when one apple falls, we got 15 apples juggling. Because we got it. We've been juggling these 15 apples for, since we've had kids, since we've been married. But when one of those apples fall, everything else falls. That's what we think. And we think, wait, we're not any good. Girl, pick that one apple up, put it back in the thing and do what you got to do. But sometimes those apples will fall and it's okay.
It is.
It's okay.
Or sometimes let that apple stay on the floor.
Okay.
Leave it down there.
Anyway.
And we'll pick it up later. Listen, we'll get it later.
We did the purple table talk. Ebony, and you and Ebony talked about prioritizing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same way. It's like, we got to prioritize. I think sometimes we get in our mind, like, you know, like Kay said, I got to change the baby. I got to do this. I got to fold the clothes. I got to wash the dishes. I got to do this. I got to do that. Listen, I'm going to tell you, it's been a week around here, Jack. Dishes is sitting there. Ain't nobody putting nothing in the dishwasher, nothing. I'm finna tell the man, can somebody come clean this house tomorrow? Because I ain't got it for your daughter. I can't do it. And that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta put it out there. You gotta tell your spouse. You gotta tell your family. Hey, I was about to tell my mom, can you come pick this little boy up? Because he's wearing me out, Jack. He's wearing me down. I mean, sometimes you just have to let people know. Or the people, you know, beyond the kids, sometimes friends and stuff like that, even saying to them, girl, listen, I can't right now. I can't hold my stuff and then hold your stuff too. Mm-hmm. I love you. I get back to you. But right now, I need to figure it out for me. And sometimes when you're the strong friend, girl, you know, everybody relies on you or leans on you or the weight is heavy on you and you take in everybody's stuff, you know, girl, I'm praying for you, this and that and the other, you checking on everybody. Sometimes you got to pull back too and say, hey, or vocalize it, girl, pray for me. Listen, yeah. I need it right now. I need you right now. And they may look crazy. What? I ain't got it right now. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do that.
You know, Jazz put something on here. She says that's where the village and your circle comes in as well. Don't do life alone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I think sometimes when we think asking for help will make us weak. But listen, if you didn't have, and even if you ain't had, but those of us that have had babies or dealt with any womanly issues, we ain't weak in the least, okay?
Not at all.
So asking for help is strength. It's strength, baby. That's what I'm saying. It's strength. It's knowing my breaking point is almost there and I need to get some help. Otherwise, I'm gonna really be weak because I'm gonna break down. But no, I'm not weak.
I think that was the hardest. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Sherman.
I was gonna say, I think that was probably the hardest thing was that part because I have no problem asking for help, but with COVID-19, it's like,
oh yeah,
it was harder. So it was like, well, I can call my parents or, you know, their godparents and sisters and all of that. And it's like, I can't because of like everybody wanted to keep, you know, social distancing the right way, especially with my parents being seniors, you know, so it was more so that pressure was like, I can't call anybody when I normally can.
You
so
know,
it's like, how do I, you know.
And that's why I turn the hose on the backyard and just run till you pass out.
Listen, I had a conversation with the twins when they were babies. I was like, listen, I can't do this. And they were babies. I was like, hey. They was yelling and screaming. I'm like, I can't. It's one me. It's two of y'all. Mm-hmm. Here's how this gonna work. And they was like, is she crazy? This was a legit conversation. Like I meant it from my soul. I was like, I cannot do this with the two of you. So here's how this is gonna work. If y'all both cry, I'm gonna cry and ain't nobody gonna eat. If we all take our time, I can handle both of y'all. Just give me a second. And I don't know, was it because I was talking and it was different? I don't know. But they heard me and they brought it down. And that was as babies. So I challenge you to even tell the kids, like, you know what, mommy needs a moment. Because that's the other part is that we all said we didn't see our moms do that. So if you can show your children when you need a moment, that gives them strength as they grow up and get older, because then they get to use their words and they get to say to people, you know, I need a moment.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny, Kate. I remember you telling me that story, and Sanaa was, she wasn't even one when you told me that. And it was the first weekend I had her by myself, and the guys were out of town, and baby, she was giving me the blues, and we was in a new house, and it was just crazy. And I said, Sanaa, I need you to stop crying, please. Like, stop crying. I need you to work with me, because if you cry, I'm gonna cry. And she started crying, and I started crying, and we both had a meltdown. And she looked at me like, "You really cry?" Yes, mommy is
supposed to be crying.
And from that moment on, I was like, you know, this works, because she calmed down. We got it together. I let her sleep with me that night. Like, we figured it out. And from that moment on, I started having real conversations with my kids. Like, the boys came back, and I was like, "It's gonna be different. We gonna talk this through." And to this day, like, I will tell them in a minute, I need a moment. Yes, I'm emotional. I need to go in this room and cry. Don't come in here, don't knock on the door, don't ask me. I don't even know how to put it in words right now. Or I just, look, y'all cook. I don't want to cook. I sat on the couch every day this week. But I don't want to talk about this. Just give me a moment. And they respected it because we've been going through it. You set the tone for what you need. Set the tone.
Do y'all feel like sometimes it's hard for moms, or I guess women in general, to do that and just kind of like put their responsibilities to the side because they identify their worth as in the total responsibilities that they can handle? Do they not? Like, I don't know. I don't have all those responsibilities, but it's like a worth thing. Like, I feel like, oh, I'm worthy, to be this empowered, strong woman if I can handle all of these tasks. And then do they not give it away because they're like, well, I'm worthless now, so I gotta do this to perform to show that I'm worthy. How do y'all feel about that?
To an extent, like for me, so like I said, my job has been really, really nice. And one of the things I kept saying was, you could take some time, and I have loads of paid time off that I could potentially take, and I probably should have taken today. But not only do I think, okay, listen, I have a job to do, and this is a newish position, I'm still trying to prove myself. I don't want to put my team in a bad spot of having to pick up stuff that I didn't drop that they have to do. And so I didn't take that time off. And one of the things they've been doing is they've been having like these kind of town hall discussions. And just like Kay said, we noticed that it was women who were struggling and saying, yeah, I probably should have took a day. The guys got on, were like, well, I was off on Monday and Tuesday so I could work through stuff. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute. And I think, like we said, it's just that different. It's just a different way to approach. For men, things are very black and white. Listen, I'm not feeling today. I'm gonna call off. That's it. That's all. But for us, we're worried about. I'm worried about. Well, my team might have to do this call for me, and and that's really not. Honestly, that's not for me to worry about. Like, if I decide to quit tomorrow, they'll figure it out. If they decide to fire me tomorrow, they're gonna figure it out. But in that moment, it's really, really hard to be like, okay, no, I am going to only think about me in this moment. It's very, very difficult.
Because you've never seen another woman do that.
Right.
We try to prove ourselves then.
Absolutely.
Like Tiffany said, if we don't do this and we don't have all 15 of these apples, juggle without dropping it, we're not worthy. But our worth is not in what we do. And that's something that we have to know. We have to know who we are as women without all of the extra stuff, whether I have children, whether I have a job that's paying me good, or I'm, taking off of work, I'm still worthy because I'm God's child. I'm God's favorite. You're God's favorite. So that's one thing we miss when we tag our worth based on what we do and what we don't do. And when we do that, we allow people to control us too. And I think sometimes men know that too. I mean, like you said, Brandy, men can take off and they don't even care. It's like I had to work through some things. I took off 2 days and we struggling with taking off a half a day or taking an extra lunch. And that's why we struggle in areas where we can't take time for ourselves because we're always trying to prove ourselves. Ladies, we have nothing to prove. We are God's valuable masterpiece, created in his image, but we have to know that and we have to live by it. And we have to live by it practically. Even if practical is taking a day off of work. Yeah, I'm God's valuable masterpiece. Now I'm not gonna push all my duties aside because just for any reason or whatever, but I can work better when I come back if I've taken the time to regroup and regather my thoughts, regather my heart. But yeah, that's the thing, Tiffany. We try to prove ourselves. We don't know who we are, so we take our jobs, like we said, we take our makeup, we take our hair, we take all of these things and identify ourselves by this, and that's farthest thing from the truth.
Listen. I had a call this week, or I guess I had a call. I don't remember. All I know is I was stressed, and I think I did one, everything is a Zoom call. So I did one Zoom call and I got off and I was like, I'm just not feeling it. And so I put out a call. I put APB in the sky and I called one of my elders, one of my board of directors. I called her and she was like, child, what is you calling me for? And I was like, listen, I need some joy. And she was like, we just chatted. We didn't chat about anything specific, but I needed to step away from what was happening. And so I called her and she was amazing. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to tackle these people again. Like, I'm ready to jump back in and do this again. But I had to step away. And they were calling me and texting me. They're like, we're doing a call. I was like, oh, I didn't know about it. I'm having a family thing right now. Give me a second. Mm-hmm. But I was having a family thing. I wasn't okay. And I needed to. And so I did. And I sat through that call with her. And I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. She was like, you ready? You know why you stepped off the call? I was like, yeah. And she walked me through it and we did what we did. And it served me. And I thank her for that. So I think we get to do that and it's okay. Mm-hmm. We get to be first.
Yes.
Yep. Yanni said it's okay to take mental health days.
Yep.
And I had never heard of that. I was sometimes, you know how sometimes you get, well, for me, I just speak for me. When I didn't want to go into work, I would just kind of say, yeah, I ain't feeling good. Yeah. I knew the night before that I wasn't going to be feeling good the next day because I was, but I felt bad about it. And it was really that I needed to take a day off. I didn't want to, but it's like I had to put that down. I was like, no, I just need to take it off. But I never heard of taking mental health days. I don't even know if they existed back then.
They do.
They exist now.
They exist now.
But we don't take advantage of them though.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and I know once we are at our best at, where God has created us to be, we produce better. We produce more. So I think by us taking time for ourselves don't mean we have to stop our responsibilities. Don't mean that our responsibilities will go down the toilet. I think you will get more out of us if you just allow us to take this time off. So
absolutely, that's true.
So okay,
so I get to go now.
I was bringing you in. What's your color? What's your color heart?
I am probably yellow and blue. Was it? I'm okay, but which one was it?
Yellow. Blue is I'm having a hard time. Yellow is I'm doing okay. Green is I'm starting to struggle. Those are.
Listen, I'm not. Well, listen, it's been all of them. I'm so serious. It literally has. Like that's why I stepped away and made the call. So I was like, I can't do this. But for me, y'all know, I am very this way. And most people don't know it because I don't say anything, but I am a researcher to my heart. So when everything started unfolding, I was like, I need concrete information. Because I was getting frustrated with us because everybody was like, we started attacking each other. We started calling each other dumb and stupid and we were being vile. And I was just like, okay, because I can't just say, don't be mean. I needed words. And so I started doing some research and everybody was like, what is this gonna prove? Why would you riot? And so I did some research. And when Martin Luther King got shot and killed, literally they started rioting. And the 6th day is when they signed the Civil Rights Act of 1968. 68. So that's the result of that riot. And so for you to say that nothing comes of it is not true. It's not fact. Everything that we've done in this country has been a riot, and then there was some results. And then, of course, for me, that led me down the road. And I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, you saw the road I took, which was then I started looking at the Civil War, and I was like, wait, what? So for me, it took me back to Pastor's, if anybody remembers it, when he talked about the elephant in the shackle. And he talked about they train them as babies. They train them as babies where they put that rope around their foot and they make them stay there. So that then when they become like these humongous animals, they believe that they're still stuck. Mm-hmm. What it got me to realize, because that wasn't like Pastor took it up to a different space, but what it got me to understand is that that's what the mental racism, that's what the systematic oppression that we've experienced, that's what that is. Because what has happened is they did it to our ancestors, and then our ancestors told us about it. So you were told, Ebony, you can't do that. See, this is what you got to do because, we don't do stuff like that. We're not allowed. We can't go over there. We can't live in that area. We don't shop at that mall. Our parents told us that stuff because that was what was told to them and they passed it down. And that's the tiny rope that bounds us. And that's what makes us say, what's this gonna prove? The other part that I realize is that the further away that we get from where we once were, meaning the poverty that we all experienced, like how we all grew up, I realize that the further away we get from it, like the more we get, like, ooh, girl, we got a house now. Ooh, girl, we got 2 cars. Come on, look at us. Then we start to be privileged. And we turn back and look at them and go, what are you doing? How could you be that way? Why would you make those decisions? And we judge out of our privilege because now we're escaped from that. But the thing that we're missing is we now have hope because we've been given hope. You have a house, you have cars, you have things that you've attained that didn't have anything to do with you taking something from someone. So now you have hope and you believe that things can get better, but they don't have hope, some of them. You can ask them and they don't believe tomorrow's gonna come. So if I don't believe tomorrow's gonna come, looting is not an issue for me. I'm not worried about a grocery store being there. Why? Because I can't even imagine myself being here tomorrow. And when you get that and you put both of our lives together, you understand that we are now starting to be privileged and we can't forget where we came from, and we have to understand and then teach that you can have hope, teach that it does get better, and not from a place of privilege, but from a place of, I used to live right here with you, or I used to do that too, but here, let's try that. So that's my soapbox, some of it anyway.
You know what, Kay? You made me think about something when you mentioned how we get a house and a car and a dog and 1.5 kids, and we think we've done it. The same thing happened in the slavery days. You know, you were a different color. You might have been lighter than the darker ones. You got in the big house, and then you thought you were better. So it's been going on. So you mentioned something. You mentioned another thing before that about the mentality. Yeah. Our mentality has to shift because we're still doing what they did back in slave days.
Exactly.
Unfortunately,
like to the T, we're doing it. Go ahead.
But it's unfortunate because when slavery ended, there was no mental health. There was no let me help, restore my mind. Mm-hmm. They just okay, here y'all go live your best life. And like Kay said, it's a mindset that continuously gets passed generation to generation because there hasn't been a disruption to that mindset. So yes, we are seeing the effects of slavery still today in our own ways that we act. Or think, ways we think.
You also said something, Kay, and it made me think when me and Dexter were watching the graduation and Obama's speech, and he mentioned it when he was talking about on the seniors call, but he said that, and it struck me hard, and he was like, yeah, because when I leave, I want to get away from the West Side, and it's so bad over here, and I'm not coming back over here, and we gonna get what we gonna get, and I was like, well, what do you mean? Why wouldn't you come back? Like, why wouldn't you come help? And he was like, it's so bad, and we shouldn't be over here, and they don't want no help. And I said, here's what I want you to understand: whenever you get what God has for you, you have to come back because they don't know what I've taught you. So you have to be a leader. You have to be a mentor. You have to use your platform to help our West Side, help our South Side, help us. Because if you don't do that, then what God gave you, it's all for nothing. It's for naught. It's in vain. And he kept pushing me whatever. And I'm like, you can, if you want to be an NFL player, that's fine. Take your dollars and make a youth program here. If you want to be a vet, that's fine. Bring something back here. And he kind of pushed it off like he really wasn't listening to me. But this is why it's important that we have these conversations, no matter what they're saying and the pushback that they're giving us, because watching that call and him talking to Pastor Al and Brina, he mentioned exactly what I said to him and how he continued to process what we talked about and how it helped him to see something different and how now he wants to come back and help his community. But if we never have those conversations, if we never take a moment to mentor someone else or pull someone else up or even talk to our children and see where their minds are right now, then all of what we've done and all of what we've got is for nothing. So we all should be having a conversation, you know, talking to someone. That's why mentorship is important, and inner city mentorship, getting involved some way, somehow. If it's just an hour a month or an hour every 2 weeks, like find some way to pour back so that we can all grow and be unified and continue to grow together. We have to give them hope. We have to. And not judge them while we're giving them hope.
So I interview students, and so I was interviewing this young lady, and you can ding them, meaning we all know what a ding is. We can check mark like, you weren't a great interview. And so, or I can help you and curate you through the interview. So I can say to you, when you jump on the call and I go, hey, I need you to go to another background. I need you to get to an area where it's more quiet. That's one. Two, I had to say to one kid, hey, we can't do the interview with you in the bed. That's not going to work. I was like, that's not a good look. He was like, oh, my bad. Okay. But for him, he didn't process it. But I could have been like, oh my God, he was in the bed. Oh, he just got up and moved. He made a shift. But if I don't say anything, another girl like totally missed the interview. And finally I called, I'm like, hey, she was like, well, I had something to do and I ain't never not missed nothing. So I ain't know what to do. So I just didn't come. I was like, sweetie, you have to call. You have to call us and say you can't make it or something happened. She was like, I didn't know. So I just thought y'all weren't going to take me. But we had the conversation and now we're taking her. And so it's those little moments. It's not even like, we always think it's so big. Like I got to go do something so magnificent and great. It literally can be you in a grocery store and you explaining something to somebody. Like explaining what something is. It's even having those conversations with our moms that's like, hey mom, let's try this. Let's go to this tea. What are capers? Like even the conversations that we're having with each other now that's building us as a team, we're growing and we're showing each other something different. And that is like super important. You have to dialogue so that you learn.
I think sometimes we think, I know Ebony, you mentioned, and that was something, I didn't know what it was referring to when you talked about, when Dexter said that on the call. And so I was thinking, it's like, what do we think? Do we think we're gonna lose out on something if we help somebody else or pull somebody else up? You know, so it's like, you know, I got this, or I got this opportunity or whatever, and I want you to have this opportunity, so I'm gonna tell you. But sometimes people's like, I got this opportunity, I'm gonna keep it to myself because I don't want to mess up or whatever. What is that?
I don't want you to embarrass me.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think sometimes we don't want to be embarrassed, right? And so we will say, like, I'll speak for myself. I've been in circles sometimes in certain places where it's only a few of us, right? Might only be a few of us. And something happens and somebody, you know, they'll catch your eye like, making no, she ain't with me. You know, as opposed to going to have and this, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to going to have a conversation and be like, all right, girl, use this spoon, use this fork. We can't do that. And this is on a professional level, you know, been in professional circles and it has happened. And, you know, I've known people to make it known that Little Red Riding Hood, she ain't with me, you know, as opposed to making the correction. You know, I think about when I finished college, I was a young teacher. Like I was young, I was in my 20s and I was turned as a teacher. And I remember my supervisor, she had a couple of conversations with me like, all right, Sharetta, like we can't wear 5-inch heels to the preschool classroom. You gotta bring it down a little bit, you know. You can't have these conversations with the daddies. Like, you know, it just doesn't look appropriate. I'm like, well, I mean, he cool. I wasn't on anything, but just having a conversation with me about some things, you know. And if she hadn't done that, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today, you know. So I think it's just that we don't want to be embarrassed, or we're afraid of what is she gonna say, you know. Especially if they got a little neck roll to it, you know. You don't want to parse of it.
And I think it's also if I've disassociated myself from that part of me, If I go
Mhm.
back and bring you back up here with me, now I can't act like I'm not from there anymore. So if I
Mhm.
done moved out to the suburbs and I've tucked my west side away in my back pocket,
You
There you
right
then
go.
I come and bring you back out here to the suburbs with me, and you still act a little west side. Okay, wait now. Shh. They're not supposed to know I'm from the west side. Shh.
I'm highly educated. Don't you
Right.
see me?
Right.
this
I
year.
speak the King's English. Recognize.
Absolutely not.
Is
That's
it
real.
right?
That's
That's
how I
real.
feel.
Is it right? No, it's not right. It's not right. But I think, you know, you always talk to you know, when you get your things, do this and do that, and you just don't. I don't know what it. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I can tell you pieces of it. You don't want to be embarrassed. You want, you know, and I think it tells we don't know how to teach people.
You want to preserve your reputation and what people think of you.
Possibly.
Definitely.
So how
And
does
then-
that go with what Ebony said?
I don't know.
We're going back to your community and giving.
Yeah, because if I feel like I've made it, I'm in the suburbs, I ain't going back down to Laverne and Superior and doing nothing. You know?
Or you go back in such a place of judgment.
I was gonna say that.
Because, you know, we'll go back. We'll go back. And
They
Girl, I'm
still
just
cut
here to
up
see
over
my
here.
mama.
They still doing that. Oh my
And
God.
I'm here just to see mama. Girl, you know, I got to go back over there to check on my mama.
Yeah.
Well, we have gone different ways with this conversation, but I know some ladies have just gotten on. So ladies, we want you to check in. So Brandy has pinned in some things. We want to know how you're doing from COVID to racism. How are you doing through all of this? And so if you can check the pin and kind of comment and let us know. And so ladies, we know what the issues are, what we've seen, we know how we feel, we know how we cope, but what are some practical things, I guess, and we might have already shared it, but some people came on later, whatever. What I just wrote down, and it's not proper English, but I'm gonna let you know. What we gonna do as women? What we gonna do as mothers? And what we gonna do as winning women throughout all of this? What are we gonna do? Because we talk about, you know, the men and we have sons and we do this and this, but as women, what we gonna do?
Support each other.
Hmm?
Support each other.
How does that look?
However you need it to look. And that's the thing. I think, didn't we talk about this about love languages? We talked about this, about love languages apply to all your relationships.
Mhm.
So, like, I know when I get, and I'm doing better, but I know when I get overwhelmed, sometimes I pull away. And so, like, I just fall to fade to black and you don't hear from me. And people be like, does she still go here? Like, what? Oh, no.
I know I've said that before.
Because I just need to, that's me stepping away. But Brandy does this a lot to me. She'll send a text and she'll go, are you okay? And that for me is everything, because number one, it makes me step back in, because I could just say he didn't, so never. So I think it's knowing what you need, because I didn't think I needed somebody to ask me that until it happened. And then when it happened, I was like, that feels good. And so I think it's like, you guys were talking about it earlier. You guys were saying, you know, your strong friends, we need to say we need help. But if you're in a circle with somebody and you're watching something, say something.
Speak up.
Don't just be like, right. Don't just watch them and you're like, I don't think she okay. Ask her, girl, you okay? Because she might then feel seen, number one. Oh my God, you see me. And I think that's it. A lot of us don't feel seen. And so I think that's what, thank you, Brandy. That's what it did for me. When you sent those text messages, for me, it was like, oh my gosh, she sees me. Like, I didn't think when I disappeared, anybody noticed. Shut up.
But you know,
Shut up.
we talked about this with just a team about building relationships. And so I think because certain people haven't built a relationship with you or with anybody, they might feel like I can't ask her. Yeah, I'm on the outside looking in and I see that something's wrong. But how am I going to ask her, is she okay? You know, I don't know how to reach out to her. Yeah, Facebook. If you on Facebook Messenger, you can reach out to anybody on Messenger.
Group chat, yes.
Group chat, I think because we haven't built those relationships or those genuine relationships, sometimes we feel like I can't reach out to her. Or, you know, it'll seem funny that I'm reaching out to her, even though I know something ain't right. I know I ain't seen her in so many times. I know she stepped back and doing this, you know, I'm concerned, but I don't know her. She don't know me. How can I reach out to her? So that's one thing I think I want to bring out, kind of what we can do as women. You got to build relationships. We have to build relationships because, and Yanni put here, we are really we're better together for real. And that's something that we struggle with. You know, we teach on relationships, you know, even marital relationships. That's something that we struggle with, but that's something that we need. You know, Kay's always talking about our circle, you know, girlfriends. That's something that we need. But if you don't have those relationships, I can't reach out to you, Kay, if I don't have a relationship with you. You know, I can't.
But you could.
I'm not gonna feel comfortable saying, "Are you okay?" And I know.
How do we start a relationship?
That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta find
which comes to.
I think sometimes we get so dishonest with ourselves, right? We have to be honest with ourselves to say, hey, I'm open for a relationship. I want a friendship. I want somebody to see me, right? You know that. Somebody asks you how you doing, get rid of the whole, girl, am I right? No, I'm not okay. Girl, I'm glad you reached out to me. You know, just like you have to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like let all of the facade go, put the mask down and just trust that, hey, I'm gonna trust God that this relationship is gonna be cool. So if somebody reach out to me and they checking on me, I'm gonna trust God that God is gonna have his perfect plan for me and this person.
And in the relationship.
Yeah, and build a relationship, you know, like I think that's what it is. We get so mistrusting sometimes, not only with other people, but with ourselves too. You know, we're just like, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Like, girl, it's all right.
And I think that's where that intentionality comes in too, that Pastor London was talking about. Like, you know, I will say I was team no new friends until a few years ago. And then I had some people that did not take that for an answer. No, but I think, you know, when you have that intentionality and you build that circle around you of those people who go, okay, wait, I ain't heard from her in a couple of days. Let me just reach out. And I think sometimes when we isolate ourselves, I think, and I don't know, this might ruffle some feathers, but I think I take that as a selfish act. Like now I understand that when I'm isolating myself and I'm not letting my friends help me, it's very selfish because your friends want to help you. If you let them know, if they know you're hurting and you building walls and going, nope, nope, I don't want it. You're not letting your friends be a friend to you. And so it's like, it's also, you got to take some of that selfishness out of it too and go, okay, I didn't let this person in for a reason. We've been connected for a reason. And now I didn't put up a wall and go, no, I'm good. They know you lying, you know? So it's like,
that's what I asked in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think I did that with the C cup. I didn't ask for help from his call and I was hurting. And so that's the reality, even, you know, outside of a relationship. You know, I didn't ask for help. I figured I could do it on my own, even though they knew how to do it and they had been through what I was going through. My pride kept me from asking for help. And so I think that's what keeps us all sometimes, you know, pride and fear. Pride and fear kind of goes together. Fear of being rejected. You know, the last friend I had, she was cray-cray and I can't do that no more. So I don't know if I open myself up again, you know, if she gonna be cray-cray too. But I think that's a big thing. But we're gonna go back to relationships, but there's something that I want us to kind of address. Crystal Mosley, she says, what do you say to a white friend who genuinely asks what they can do to help with the social injustice and racism that's going on? Brandy doing like Kay, she want to answer this one.
Yep, and I want to.
Because I've had a couple people. So it was like I said at the beginning of the week. I'm like, listen, I don't want to talk. Thank you for reaching out. Appreciate it, but I'm gonna need a few days. And then when I was able to put together a response, it was one of my really good friends, and I said, first of all, I need you to react as angrily about this as you would if that was a dog under his leg. Because if this was a dog, you wouldn't be asking me, what should I say? I don't know what to say. She said, oh my God. I think for whatever reason, that was an aha moment for her. I'm like, you are full of rage if an animal is hurt, but you don't know what to say when a person is killed in front of us. Like, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Like, I need you. She's like, I'm like, I understand you don't know what to say. Say something. Say anything. Say you're angry and you don't know what to say. Just saying that can be enough, because the silence is so loud, and you can't say you love me as a person and be silent about this. You can't, because now the friendship is teetering, because you can't say you love me and not react to all this stuff that's happening
or fight for me.
Right.
Ebony, you had something on that?
Yeah, I Brandy got hit, but I would say use your voice, use your platform. We all interact in different areas, and we're not always together. So when you are with your friends of the same color and they happen to speak out injustice about us, say something to them, educate them.
Be an ally.
Be an ally for us, because that's what happens. They're in their circles, and sometimes they don't want to ruffle the feathers of the people they're connected to. Well, it is time that we ruffle feathers everywhere. It's time for the feathers to be ruffled. Take off the mask and use your voice to speak up for me, or for all that's going on for us. You've seen it happen. Just like you said, they spoke up and they got that dog taken away from the young lady in the park. If it was that quick that they could take a dog out of her care, you can do something to take care of us. Just that simple.
You know, I hear a lot of people put up Black Lives Matter, and then some people comment, well, all lives matter. And so one thing, my 15-year-old, he gave a scenario, and I was like, that's good. He said, if you had like a block full of houses and there was one on fire, spray all the houses, or do you spray the one that's on fire? And I said, well, that's good. And then I thought about it. I said, our bodies are made up of so many parts. And so if the head is hurting, everything else, all of our antibodies and all of this stuff that's in us to make us well goes to the hurting part to heal that part. And so I thought about that. I'm like, that is, all we know in essence that all lives matter. But in this case, the Black life is hurt. And so that's where our attention, that's where our antibodies are going, for this part.
Okay, you can save it.
Listen, they right. All lives matter, but clearly mine doesn't. That's what we're talking about.
So now we need to let y'all know.
Listen, you're right. All lives matter. That's me too. Hey, me.
Yeah.
And then I also too, like one of the groups that I'm in, the moms, they started like, we're reading this book. We want to do this. So that to me felt good. Like, okay, you're gonna do something to get yourself a little bit to get some more information. Like, that felt good to me. You're doing something. You're not just sitting here holding your hands or not saying anything, as Brandy said. So like, if you need me to refer you to something to read or something, or a class to take or something, a Zoom
but why do I have to educate you?
I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to, but if you tell me you don't know what to do, I can give you.
You can take over countries, you can build businesses, and now all of a sudden dealing with people is foreign to you. Absolutely not.
This is true. But if you just say you can't find nothing, honey, if your Google don't work, I'm gonna help you.
Right. What's wrong with your Google? Nothing.
Elder Google works for everybody.
Thank you. Don't ever ask me anything that you can Google. Don't do that to me.
But sometimes Google's not going to give them my personal experience. Google's not
give
going
them my personal experience.
I mean, but like we have people that ask us, white people, ask us, how do we feel during this time? Or so we kind of explain, these are friends, we explained it to them. And we have asked about the whole COVID situation and why Blacks are more susceptible to dying from it. So we kind of explained, hey, I think our underlying issues came from what our ancestors ate. That from one part. So they had this pig, and so one side got everything from the pig. We got the leftover stuff from the pig, which wasn't good. And some of us are still eating that stuff today. So that's where our underlying issues, that's where the diabetes and the high blood pressure and all this stuff is coming from, because we're doing the same things that our ancestors did. So that's one part of why they say African Americans are more susceptible to dying. But then it's the healthcare. Sometimes we don't have the testing sites, in our areas, and when we get them, it's like 50 tests, and it's like thousands of people in this one community, and you got 50 tests for this community, really? So it's a lot of stuff that I think, and yeah, okay, I understand you can Google, but if I have an opportunity to share with you from a personal standpoint, even experiences that I've been through, because we share with them things that we've been through since we were gone for the week. We share with them that, and that kind of enlighten them and to help them to see what we're going through on a personal level, not reading some on Google about, history that's sometimes not even correct concerning us. It's what have I experienced as a Black woman? What has he experienced as a Black man? And what are my children experienced as Black boys?
First of all, listen. Yeah, my soul is on fire. Number one, I'm gonna need y'all to understand what y'all have done to us. Like, we're not gonna act like what happened didn't happen. And I'm not. Do you understand that when we were fighting for this country, they were still lynching us? We were fighting for this country, they were still segregating us. They were still treating us away. Let's keep going further. Then let's talk about doctors and healthcare. Oh my God. We believed them when they said these doctors are going to help you, and they was using us as test tubes. Like, even I can't think of her name. Is it Harriet? The lady that they took.
Henrietta.
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget syphilis. And then Henrietta Lacks, they done took all her stuff, and they still
tested over.
How many hundreds? This is why there's no trust, because every time we go, seem cool. They test on us and call it rain. It's just raining, but it's not. Stop that. That's so like, and then you go, I don't know what to do. Guys, help me. Like, I don't understand how you guys are feeling. If I gave your people syphilis as a test tube, we gonna be cool? How does that work? How do you get confused about what happened? And then you tell people, like, I'm sure, Brandy, you've heard this. Well, you're different from those people that are looting, Brandy. You're different from them. Yeah, because we've all heard it from our friends. We've all heard it.
Now, I ain't heard that. They don't want that smoke, okay?
I've heard it before.
Ooh, baby.
It's exhausting, guys.
Take a deep
and
breath.
I'm gonna need you,
Take a deep breath.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Dana said Betty about to pop off.
I usually keep my militant you know, quiet and down and in my house. I don't, you know, feel some type of way. And then they get nervous. I start reading. But
Now, I like the fact, like I said, yeah, you can Google it, but I like the fact that even if when you talk to your friends, Kay, you can show them the passion that you
Yep.
have, and
Yep.
you can kind of steer them in a certain way. Because like I said, you can Google stuff, even like in the history books and stuff. We weren't taught a lot of this stuff in school.
oh my
We were
God, they
taught
didn't
their
teach us
history, though.
anything.
Yeah, so if I have them rely on the history books, they're not going to know really what's going on. So who better than to enlighten them than for somebody who studied or who's been through different things. So that's why I think I really like that you have your clear friends that are saying, hey, what I want to know what you've been through. And yeah, sometimes you think they shouldn't be oblivious to what's going on, but some of them are. And what if you're asking me, oh, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna help you. And I'm gonna let you know, like Brandy said, don't be silent. Whatever platform you have, speak up against it. Even like you had the blackout, we had the Blackout Tuesday. Black out your screen, do something, you know. Yeah.
There's
One of
a
my
project. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tim.
one of my like paraprofessionals from college, because he kept getting this question a lot too. He like literally like just made up a list of all these like documentaries on Netflix, like When They See Us and other things produced by like Ava DuVernay and other great directors. And said like, look, if you have a lot of questions, watch this movie, and if you have any questions after that you don't understand about what's facing our community, then let's talk. But I guess initially it is exhausting to think that I have to pull up all these resources of history for you guys to understand. It's like, nah, how about watch a movie and then let's talk. Go ahead.
Two things. One, there's a project called, I believe it's called Project 1619, where they are teaching Black history. Like it is the focal point of how they're teaching history to high schoolers. I just read the article. It was really amazing. And it literally changed the trajectory of the children's minds, because I have teens and they're like, oh, mom, it's not like you my friends are my friends. It ain't even like that. But when these kids, and they did the class, and after the class, they were like, we had no idea that this stuff happened. And that's like, we're trying to, in some cases, trying to figure out why our kids are not as angry, or why, not even angry, but why they don't have a feeling about certain things. And it's because they don't understand the history. And in some cases, well, they don't. Like, we only know stuff now. Looking back, it's like, nobody explained that. Like, I don't know. Did you guys really understand that the Civil War was over us? Like hardcore, you understood. Like,
I think I kind of social studies.
Yeah.
I took it.
You know, you understood it, but it wasn't like you get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Literally fighting to either keep the slaves or let them be free.
Yep.
And that people were entrenched in their opinion to not. And so then when you fully grasp that piece, and then you go, and y'all still got this flag up?
Still.
Well, I don't see y'all. I don't see, because, and then it's like, well, we want to honor where we came from. Totally get that. But you know, you didn't come from here. You came from England. So I don't see you waving their flag.
That's real.
The other part about telling them, or like trying to explain, a friend of mine, he is Justice Reform. That's his program. And he explained that when people call him out to speak, to go into their companies to help them reform, you know, what's happening there, and to really teach them. One of the things he says he has to ask is this going to be worth me dredging up all of the stuff that I've been through? That's the part about trying to explain what we've gone through. I got to relive that. I got to pull that up. I got to go. So remember the first time we got pulled over by the police, and remember then we all had to lay on the ground. Like, I have to relive that. You're asking me to relive my trauma so that you can learn.
That's a lot.
Also, on top of that, you're getting my perspective. That's my perspective. Your other Black friend might feel something completely different about that exact same situation. So that's the other part of it that makes it a little exhausting. It's like, okay, Yeah, you have my opinion. Don't take that as the Black opinion. I'm gonna get this one opinion and I'm good.
Right.
And so now I've got my lesson and I don't have to worry about talking about anybody else. Like that. No, that's
Mm.
not quite how that works. You
Right.
have, if you're gonna learn it, you have to get it from multiple people to get those multiple perspectives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People, like I said, people have different experiences. I can only let you know what be passionate really about my experience. You know, somebody else has a different one.
Right.
Oh.
Wow.
This has been it's been a lot. You know, I think
Good
like I
though.
mentioned earlier, this whole everything that we've been experiencing is a turning point for our nation. And I think
Huge.
like somebody mentioned it on here about us being, and I call blacks cloudy. So the cloudies being against each other. Because I don't know if you all have heard, but some women are kind of being upset because they're only mentioning George Floyd and not mentioning Breonna Taylor or Sandra Bland. They named, you know, a couple Black women that have experienced, you know, death or whatever by, you know, injustice.
Absolutely.
And we mentioned about the whole division. So we're on one end saying Black Lives Matter, but I think within the Black Lives Matter, we're saying women matter, men matter. Well, I'm Black, I'm a woman. My husband's Black, he's a man. We Black, we matter. So I think we can't take, in my opinion, we can't continue to even be divided within our own selves.
Absolutely.
I know we're focusing on George Floyd because I believe, like I said, I believe this is a tipping point of what we've been experiencing. Everything just kind of stacked on top of each other. And so, but I don't think we're negating that Black
Absolutely.
lives matter. All lives matter. Black lives matter, you know? So I really think that the enemy, and I got to go spiritual, the enemy has his hand on all of it. And it's like we're on puppet strings and he's pulling us this way and pulling us this way. Yeah, you know, y'all got some unity, but I'm gonna get the Black men against the Black women. But we got to stand together because we're all the same. And even in the Black race, we're all the same. But even one of the ladies on, I can't even think of her name. She got a song out. It says, "We all bleed the same."
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to that. Actually, I wasn't even listening to it. Holy Spirit brought it to my mind, and I started thinking about the words. And I'm like, that's true. Whatever color we are, we all bleed red blood. And so if we, and you know, we talk about the different levels of, we talk about of the creations. The first one is the human creation. We're all human. We all bleed red blood. So it's like the division is a tactic of the enemy, where if we are believers, we gotta get more spiritual about it. Yeah, we can do, you know, I think our research is key because that'll allow us to tap into the spirit and know what to pray for or what to pray against. But we got to pray against this spirit of division, because that's the enemy's job. He doesn't want us to agree, and we know there's power in agreement. He even choking me up. Listen, hold on 1 second. The devil is a liar because I'm talking about this. No, there's power in agreement. And right now we're at a disagreeing stage in a lot of this. So when we all come together, red, black, white, whatever color, when we all come together, that's when we're going to see change. And I believe that change is happening.
It's here.
It might be slower than what we would like, but it's not in our timing. But if we continue to do our job, we talked about different things that we use as a release. Some, you know, Serena says she sings, you know, Brandy works. It's different things that we use as a release. Let's release it but also we gotta, as like I said, believers, we gotta attack it in the spirit. We know the issues, we know the root, but when we attack it at the root, that's when all the leaves in the tree fall. And we got to continue. We can't just tap it one time and say, oh, nothing happened. No, we got to be constant, because, you know, Holy Spirit just reminded me of the whole example. We talk about how a drip of water can break a rock. It's a consistent drip. And you think a little bitty drip of water can break a rock? Yeah, it's a consistent drip. And that consistency is key. If we are consistent in doing what we need to do, if we're consistent in researching, if we're consistent in releasing and doing what we need to do to be sane, if we're consistent in that, we're going to see change. We're going to break through that rock of racism. We're going to break through it. But what we do, I think, as a people, and this is all colors, when we're not consistent, we just figure it didn't work today, so I ain't going to do it. But that consistency, that drip, think about it. I want ladies on the call, I want you to think about that drip when you start thinking about what can I do consistently, no matter what I think I see or don't see, what can I do consistently to break through that rock? And it can be done because we're seeing it. It did my heart good to see. I got a picture of the flag. It's like, I think it's like a red, it's a flag, not the flag, but the map, and it's red. And it just showed that everybody, and like I said, whether it's 2-3 people, hey, we're gonna take it where we can get it. We have protests in all 50 states in multiple countries. That has never been done. So somebody's being consistent. Somebody's doing something consistently to get this to be done. But if we can all get together and stay consistent in what God has called us to do. God called me to do something different. He called you to do something different. You know, I might not be the one that march on the front line, but I can pray. So if God told you to march, you go on the march, and I'm gonna be back at my house or wherever, I'm gonna be praying. So if we all figure out what our job is in this whole thing to affect change, I think that's where it's going to be, because one thing is not going to change it. There's going to be multiple. If we all put our pieces in and be consistent with it, that's when we're going to see change.
Absolutely.
That's it right there.
Mm-hmm. Like when you talked about intentionality earlier, that's a part of it. We have to be like that. Being consistent and being focused is intentional. You don't unintentionally focus. Like, you know, athletes always say nobody accidentally wins a championship. Like nobody goes, hey, I was walking by and decided to come in here and I won.
Right.
Nice to meet y'all. So the way we win, because we're winning women, is we're intentional. We have to be intentional. So when you're having conversations, and this is one of the things I really got, like after I did the research, is that when you have conversations with people, you have to be mindful. Am I making this comment because it's what I've been taught to think? Or does this serve this moment? Like it's really being really truly intentional because this is a lot, guys. This is so much. But you have to be intentional in order to win, in order to win as winning women, in order to win as Black women, in order to win, period. We got to be intentional. So you have to assess before I say something, is this going to serve? Is this going to move us forward? Is this intentional? Is it focused? Or am I speaking based on some past experience that may not serve this moment?
That's good.
You know, I told y'all that I had taken a class, and it's called Business Ethics. And so it's a philosophy class. And so one of the things we started this week, and one of the things it just kind of made me think about what you just said. The philosophy is used to kind of challenge what you believe or what you even think you believe. So I'm like, okay, if that's the truth, then if I don't know the reason behind why I believe what I believe, I can be tossed to and fro.
Absolutely.
But like you said, if I like we talked about the whole pan, the roast pan, you know, I only know that I cut off the end of my roast because my mama did it, and then grandma did it, and great grandma did it. I didn't know the reason behind it. So I was losing good meat.
Girl, good meat.
Reason nobody could tell, once I found out why she cut it, I'm like, no, we got big pans now. I ain't got to lose that meat. I ain't got to pay $50 for a roast and cut off $20 of it from the butt because no. So knowing what we believe, knowing the reason why we believe it, not just because mama said it or somebody else said it, or even pastor said it, because back in the day, I know we used to say, well, my pastor said this, but what did the word say? Pastor could be wrong or pastor could be right, but what did the word say? When I get it for myself, I believe it. Can't nobody pull me off of it.
No.
Absolutely.
So that was something for me.
I remember I had a conversation with you and Pastor. This was a long time ago. And ideally, I thought he would have said one thing. And I think even in my heart, I wanted him to say something. And we got to the conversation and he leaned in and he goes, well, what did the Lord say? And I was like, but you're supposed to. He's like, I can't tell you what to do.
Yep.
Lord tell you. Man, this ain't what I came here for.
You supposed to tell me what the Lord has said.
He said ABC. And then you would have got mad at me for telling you what the Lord said because you didn't want to do it.
Right.
Or what if it wasn't what you thought what the Lord was supposed to say? That's a whole
of that. It's like a part of it, but you're right. You got to figure out what you believe. And that's what he made me do in that moment. He was like, and I was like, this is not how this conversation is supposed to go, sir. Have you not been before the throne? Tell me what they said.
You got Jesus on speed dial. Come on, tell me.
real quick.
But you know what? It's like I mentioned, it's better when you got it for yourself. When you dial Jesus on speed dial and he answered you, than for somebody else to tell you. Because you believe it more when you get it straight from the throne yourself.
Baby.
And honestly, it feels good when he talks to you. It's so reaffirming, it's reassuring, it builds your self-esteem. It does so much for you that you want to go back and have more conversations. So go to the Father for yourself.
And even during this time, like I said, what we gonna do as women? We can't answer those questions on our own. We have to rely on Holy Spirit, because what we think we should be doing, and even I said we should be consistent, but even what we think we should be doing might not be what we should be doing. We might be following the bandwagon of somebody else. He done told you to stay home and pray, and you down there singing. No, that ain't what he told you to do. So we always, as believers, to win, we always gotta rely on our helper, which is the Holy Ghost.
Spirit.
Especially during this time.
Absolutely.
But anybody want any closing comments? Because we have had this conversation almost an hour and 45 minutes. I believe it's been good. We tried to get to as many comments as we could on the different platforms, but we pray that you've received something and you're able to take something back for you during this time, because that's what this call is for, not just to mouth off or whatever you think. It is to help us win, because we are winning women. Absolutely. So anybody else want to say anything before we close? This is my second close.
Second close? I thought that was the first close. Come on.
This is my first close.
You have nothing.
You have nothing? Nobody has nothing?
I'll just say this, and I just keep hearing this. Just remember to use your voice. We win when we use our voice. Do not be silenced in your feelings, in what you need, and in what you feel like God is giving you to share. Don't be silent, especially during this time. Use your voice.
Yeah, that's good. And I like when you mentioned about talking to the children. That's something that we have to do, because they have feelings too. Yes, we talked with Justin, and we asked him, we had at the school he goes to, they found like a girl was on Snapchat saying the N-word. And so it got back to the principal. And so we asked him, he came and showed it to us. And before he showed it to us, we had a conversation and asked him, hey, what do you think about, racism, whatever? He was like, it don't affect me right now. It was like, huh? You a Black boy? It affects you. Yeah. And then he saw this comment and he's like, I know this girl,
Right.
and I'm like, now it's coming to your door. Yeah, it's somebody whereas you think you didn't experience it. And he's been experiencing it subtly.
Microaggression.
But he know it in real life.
I think he knew it. He didn't want to acknowledge it. So now it's like, you got to acknowledge it and you got to know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
We got to teach you how, excuse me, how to react if the police pulls you over. This is not
right. We bind that up right now in the name of Jesus.
I know that's
Clear
right.
throat, clear airways in the name of Jesus.
It's right here. But we have to like he's starting to drive. I mean, he's not driving without us yet. I don't know when I'm gonna let him do that. But when he does drive, we gotta let him know, hey, if they stop you unjustly, you can't be mouthing off. Certain things we have to train them, and everybody don't train their children like this. They don't have to train their children to say, hey, be respectful. They don't have to do this. It's because some people are disrespectful and they get nothing done to them, but that's another story. But we have to train him and let them know, hey, if this happens, like they were over at the basketball court a couple of weeks ago, and somebody from our neighborhood called the police, social distancing or whatever. And so we had to go over and kind of take care of that, and it was okay after that. But then a week later, a bunch of other girls from a basketball team came over there, and nobody called the police. And it's like, okay, really, what's going on? So little things like that he's seeing, but we still have to train our children as Blacks how to handle different situations because we want them to come home.
Yes, we do.
I had a conversation with my daughter because they had a Snapchat situation at her school and the emails went bananas. Yes. And so she ended up knowing because hers was multiple kids. It wasn't just one kid. It was multiple kids that had been posting. And she was like, I didn't know those girls. She was like, but I knew the guy and I felt the way. And I was like, oh, okay. But as we talked, one of the things that we had a conversation and what I kind of told her is I was like, anytime anything feels off, you tilt your head. I was like, you need to speak to that. I said, whether it's a teacher, a friend, I was like, and I'm not even talking about just Black. I'm like, whether it's sexual, whatever it is, if you do this, you need to speak to it. And if you don't feel comfortable speaking to it, then you need to let us know so that we can speak on your behalf because things explode when you do this. And think about it. We all do it. Like something will happen and you'll go, And you go, well, that wasn't nothing. And then you explain it away. That feeling, you explain it. And I was like, don't ever explain away that feeling. Whenever you have that feeling, you have to honor it and you have to speak to it in that moment. If you don't feel comfortable, that speaks even more volumes that this meant way more if you can't even say anything. She was like, wow, I get it. So hopefully it was impactful for her.
That's good.
That's true. Because you see a lot of that even before these issues. You see a lot of women rising up because they didn't say nothing when things happened to them on the job or whatever. Now a whole bunch of that is coming as they're speaking up now, but anybody else want to share something before we leave this call?
Leaving? I do not like to leave.
I know.
I love this. I absolutely love this. I love this and what it's created in us. I'm thankful for each of you and how we built our relationships through this. Like this has been a bright spot in my day. Like every Friday, like I look forward to talking to y'all, and then I look forward to the after chat, and just all of it. Like I love this, and I thank you guys. Like this is helping me navigate all of the crazy. Like this is magnificent, and I thank you guys for being a part of my circle. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
real.
I tell you I was tired of crying?
Listen.
But that's so real. It's so real. Like, honestly, like during the week, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get on because I know the conversation is gonna get heavy. But by yesterday, I was like, I can't wait to have this conversation. I can't wait to talk with my girls and, you know, share what I feel and hear how they're feeling and even learn from them. Like, every week has been amazing. It really has. It really has. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Y'all know y'all sound like this our last Friday Night Live.
But the other thing is, even like everyone who joins our chats and they're commenting, like their comments, like they speak life and their ideas and they're laughing with us. Like, I look forward to just all of it, not just us, like our entire winning woman community.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. We have a community and we uplift each other. We encourage each other. We love on each other. We have so many bonds have grown just from these chats of women that, you know, I may have saw at church, but didn't get a chance to talk to because, you know, you're serving and you're moving and you're busy. But now you get to talk more and, you know, learn more about them and grow. Like, these are awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah. I think we take for granted this ministry in a lot of ways. Like, even, you know, between, you know, these chats have been amazing, you know, what we've been doing. But even if we look at some of the things that we just do as a ministry, and we create this safe space for women to not only win, but to say, listen, I am struggling and can you help me? And you have people who don't even really know each other, helping each other and reaching out, and they build those bonds based on, well, I just happened to sit next to her at the PJ party, or I just happened to sit next to her at the tea, or we in the comment crew. That's what I call them. We in the comment crew together, and we've been acting the fool for the last 6 weeks on these calls, you know, on these Zoom calls. So I think, you know, in here, and I think that maybe I don't say we take it for granted, but I think having people come on that aren't from Lifeline and go, oh my God, I can't believe y'all are doing this. That kind of goes, okay, you know, because we're in it. So I don't think we see it as much, but yeah, this is awesome.
It is.
And we've had so many guests on this girl chat. So I know somebody commented about, you know, consider inviting a woman or two who's never been on the panel to join. We've had several people on this platform with us.
Oh my God.
We have cracked up, we have laughed, we have gotten serious, we have done a lot of this. And so I do feel like we acted like this the last one. I feel like this is a closing statement, y'all. Really? Listen, I look forward to these chats too. And sometimes it's like we don't know what's going to come out of them, especially like in the beginning. We just, you know, started talking about some of everything, and then we ended up talking about the real deal. But the pre-conversation was the bomb. You know, it was like, this is really what we really should have been talking about. I do like the camaraderie, not just with the team, but like you said, Ebony, with the people that have watched, you know, steadily. You know, we've had a steady flow of women, mainly the same ones, coming on and liking and sharing and commenting and being blessed by it. And like we said at the beginning, we use this platform as a platform just to have fun and just to chat. But I know tonight it wasn't as heavy as maybe we thought it would be. I think it was refreshing, you know, for conversations that we need to have because of what's going on in the world, and kind of get the females' perspective on this. You know, what are we going through? Because we're not okay. Or if we are okay, we're not okay all the time. And it's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to stay not okay.
Yeah.
So I think we've tackled a lot, and we have a lot more that we can tackle, because girls, you know, we like to talk. We set out with this. I think we said, let's just do 30, 40 minutes. And I don't think any of our
not one in 30 minutes.
Not a one.
We got the police checking on us saying 8 p.m. You know, 8 p.m. Like, okay, Brandy, we see the time. But we just want to be in order, and we don't want to keep you all night. But I know you like to laugh and everything, and we like to laugh. But yeah, it's 8:54, so we just gonna off. But
Wait, Pastor London, one of the comment crew, Vonda says, "No, ma'am, it is unacceptable to return my Friday nights back to humdrum."
I know, right? Like, what you gonna do now? What you gonna do?
and listen, I think for me, sometimes people look at the numbers and like, oh, we got 10 on or 1,000 on. I always say, even when we're live, when we're able to embrace at any of our events, we want at our events or even on this live who God wants on this live. And we know when they come on, they're going to experience something, that they need. And when they do that, and when we get those testimonies, I know the team has had testimonies from people that have, enjoyed it and received breakthrough or whatever. That's what does our hearts good. Not just, oh, we ain't got that many people watching. It doesn't matter. If one life has been touched, if one person can take care of themselves because of something that we said, that helps us. If one person can now figure out a way to release their anger or release, their frustrations because we've said something, we've shared something, that's what helps us. So when we get on these calls, we have fun and we chat it up and all this, but we also, ladies that are still on here, we also look for you to be blessed. And we know you've been blessed these last 2 months. And so I think it's maybe a consensus that we continue these Friday night lives. So
no, it's really sounding like a goodbye though. I'm sorry.
You started it, and then Ebony, I'm like, oh my God, should I have tears? Are we ending it or whatever? Oh my God.
I just wanted to say that, like you were saying, like closing out, and I just wanted to say, like, this, us creating this village for each other, like this has been amazing. This has been what it's about. Like, you guys have, even like the comment crew, y'all have a village, like between us and even yourselves, that y'all like look for each other when we come on. So like this is what helps us win, sitting in these environments and just shenanigan based.
It's amazing.
It's magical.
Okay, well, I think this is my second close. It's the third one. It's like you just don't want to get off the call, It's just, but listen, ladies, before we get off the call, as we always say, what you got, Kay?
So, Sister Yolanda, she don't do nothing on Friday night. She said she has been excused from Friday date night because we are on. You don't understand. You do not understand. That is big.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. That's a good husband. He allows his wife to have some time, to chat with the girls and to share. Listen, I love it. I love it.
Because when we rejuvenate, it's all the better for them.
That's going back to what we talked about in the beginning. About Serena.
Yep.
Take care of ourselves. Everybody's better because of it.
Yep. Everybody wins.
When we take this time to chat it up and to laugh, Pastor mentioned, he was like, I love when you're on Fridays because I just hear so much laughter. And it's like, because sometimes we don't get to laugh. There's so much stuff going on. You laugh or you have nothing to laugh about. He was like, I love when you're on these calls because I can hear your laughter, And so that's good, especially during these times. We need to take a breath and laugh. So that's what we provide with Winning Women Friday night.
It's therapeutic.
Yes, it is.
Therapeutic, yeah. Come on, that's what we need. It's a part of self-care.
Yeah, me time.
Therapy without the copay.
2 hours. Let me hello. Hey, Brandy.
I said it's therapy without the copay.
Right. It's free therapy. Come on, okay? We got different, and we don't have one therapist. We got different therapists that's giving us different perspectives.
There you go.
I love it.
For the free. For the free.
Yes, for the free. But before we get off, closing number 4. I have done more closings today than I've ever done.
Yes.
But
all good though. All good.
Before we get off, so into Winning Women.
Yep.
we will not be quarantined always. And you know, when we have our events, we always do what we need to do. So we have up on our screen multiple ways to give. And so when you give, make sure you give to Winning Women Ministry. Give to us, to the ministry, so we can put it back into you. We're not, taking it and using it for different things. We're using it to put back into you. If you've been to any of our events and you've gotten goodie bags and all of that stuff ain't free. We have to pay for that stuff. So we are having, I pray that we're able to have Denim and Heels this year. We always have Denim and Heels in September. So make sure you're giving so we can, we're going to give back to you. I'll just say that. We're going to give back to you.
Make the comeback live.
I know that's
Wow.
Live, baby.
Come on, Father.
Yes.
Is that a good phrase, on and popping, or am I showing my age?
Pastor London,
I'm
we
here for it. Every time you say it, I'm with it.
I know.
Let's
So
get
we all around the same age.
Yeah, we are.
But so Tiffany, is that an old saying?
Look at this.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. I want to be hip.
If you say, Pastor, if you say hip, you're not hip.
Okay. So what should I say?
Tiffany don't know. She got to think herself.
I'm old.
I got a variety of things. Like it's gonna be turned. Like
It's gonna be live.
but don't say that.
I missed it. What you say?
I said you can say it's gonna be turned.
Oh,
It's but you don't have to say it though.
I say that.
You gotta say it.
Go ahead and say it one time, Pastor.
It's gonna be turned. Come on, it's gonna be turned.
There you go.
Gonna be turned.
Don't forget to give to Winning Women. And if you are a partner with Lifeline Church, go on the Facebook page, go on our website. We have a lot of things going on this weekend, starting tomorrow. There's a couple of rallies, Pastor will be in, I think on tomorrow and on Sunday. So make sure you are in the know. And we have a special presentation on Sunday. So make sure you tune in to Lifeline Church at 10 o'clock. So this is on Sunday at 2 p.m. We have a rally. We stand together. So that's something that we're doing. And then let's see. Sunday, like I said, Sunday we're having just a great presentation. You don't want to miss it. So tune in at 10 a.m. on Sunday for a special presentation. It's going to be, I'm just going to say it one more time. It's going to be on and popping. Or it's going to be lit. A special presentation. So make sure you tune in, and don't just tune in, share it, because Pastor has something to say on Sunday, especially for our Lifeline Church family. So again, this is not our last time. We'll be back on Friday. But ladies, we love you. We thank you for hanging in, sticking with us for over 2 hours. It's been a blast. And listen, don't forget to take something that we've said and apply it to your life so you can win in every area of your life. Okay? We love you. And as I always say, I love you, mommy. Good night, ladies. We love you. Thank you, Jason. Good night.
Good night. Good